You know what time it is. It's time for Microcast Monday, next on the CJ Evolution podcast. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. It is a new Monday. It is a new week, and you got this. Remember, what you put out, you get back. If you think everything sucks, then you're going to get sucked. If you think everything is good and maybe you go through some roadblocks and you got to climb some mountains, which we all do, meaning challenges, struggles. But other than that, things are good. Guess what? Life's going to reflect that. I'm not saying you live in a bubble, but what you put out, you get back. Where your thoughts go, energy flows. Remember that. Special thanks to you, the first responder, the criminal justice professional, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Thank you for doing it. And remember this, you are honored, cherished, and above all, you are loved. And if you are struggling right now, or if you know somebody that is, please pick up the phone, call us. FHE Health and their Shatterproof program for first responders is here for you. Whatever you're going through, substance addiction, mental health challenges, or both, Shatterproof can help. I went through this program. It saved my life. I am now honored to work for the program, and it transformed my life. I know it can do the same for you. Pick up the phone, call right now. Not tomorrow, the next day, next week. You got to get in your vacation first. No. Pick up the phone and call right now. Links are in the show notes. I wanted to put together, I was jotting down some things I wanted to talk about today. And, we all hear about the stigma of first responders seeking treatment. So I made out a list here and I'm going to read it. And again, a list that I just jotted down about the stigma behind first responders seeking treatment. So, number one, the cultural expectation of toughness. First responders are taught, I know I was, and you probably were too, to suck it up and stay stoic, meaning stay strong looking, like you can handle anything, and you usually can. Admitting struggles is wrongly equated with weakness or incompetence. Yeah, have you ever dealt with that? Maybe people have told you that, but more importantly, that's what you're thinking. Now, the reality is, if we normalize mental health discussions during academy and roll calls and in the department, then again, it's less of a stigma because more people are getting educated about mental health challenges. I think a lot of times what people don't realize, they're not educated enough. They think, oh, somebody is going through challenges, they must be crazy. That's not necessarily the case. Share stories. Share stories of respected peers or leaders who sought help and thrived. And your organization, or somebody that knows somebody who has somebody that's respected, or could be a leader, or could be a peer that received treatment, and maybe they're open about it. That helps break the stigma. It does. And reframe seeking treatment as a sign of strength and professionalism. Look, it is. Hands down, it is. If you are struggling and you go to treatment or you get help and you come back and share that, I guarantee you, many people in your organizations, even though they won't say anything about it, are struggling and they will seek you out. So, and the people that are giving you shit about getting help, I guarantee you they need help. I'm willing to bet they need help. So that's number one. Number two I have is fear of career consequences. Many worry they'll lose their badge, rightfully so, being passed over for promotion, another big concern, or face reassignment if they admit needing help. Concerns about confidentiality and fitness for duty evaluations discourage honesty. Totally get that. They're all valid concerns. But I want to read you this. Fear of career consequences is the flip side. Implement and clearly communicate confidential support options. So that's one. Enact policies ensuring no retaliation or discrimination for seeking help. I'm talking to you, to all the decision makers out there. Listen and pay attention. Your troops are the most important thing in your organization. And provide assurances and evidence that treatment doesn't automatically mean fitness for duty issues. Look, when you come to Shatterproof, if somebody is not on your consents, meaning if they're not on your consents that you give us permission to talk to the people about your treatment, we're not going to say anything. Maybe you're familiar with HIPAA. We are bound as behavioral health professionals, bound by HIPAA, meaning if somebody from your HR finds out that you're in treatment for whatever reason, because people talk, and they call me up and they say, "Hey, Pat, I want to check on so and so." Okay, let me check the consents here. You're not on the consents. Goodbye. That's how it works in treatment. Confidentiality is paramount in treatment. It's paramount. And look, many people have come through our doors, got treatment, got better, went back, and they didn't lose their badge. They didn't face disciplinary stuff because they sought treatment. And again, I can't promise anything, but we take that stuff very seriously. We wouldn't be in business as long as we have if we violated that stuff. We do everything that we can to protect your job. To protect your job. So the next one, peer judgment and social pressure. Fear of being labeled unstable or unreliable by colleagues. Isolation can result when others pull away from someone perceived as fragile. Now, the flip side of that, peer judgment and social pressure, the flip side, train peer support teams to intervene early with encouragement. Look, we all struggle. You might be the biggest badass SWAT guy or gal on the force, but you struggle. You're human. There's only so much we can see. So your peer support teams are huge. If you don't have one, build one. There's plenty of information out there on how to create a peer support team. And intervene. If you see somebody that is acting not the way they usually do, maybe they're down and they're not as active, they're proactive out there writing tickets or whatever they used to do 100%, and maybe they drop down to 50, 60. You need to ask them what's going on. Don't be afraid to do that. Promote a culture where colleagues check on each other and each other's well-being. What's wrong with saying, "Hey, man, you okay?" Or, "Hey, sister, you doing okay? You need somebody to talk to?" There's nothing wrong with that. But again, it's that culture of we don't want to appear weak. It's okay to be weak. It's okay to be vulnerable. You're human. And lastly, highlight testimonials from peers who have been helped by treatment. Again, this is a tricky one. Sometimes people don't want to know people to know they've been in treatment. It's got to be voluntary. But if you are one of those people that has been through treatment, I would encourage you to tell other people within your agency. It might be embarrassing. You might feel shameful, but trust me, it is a sign of strength. And I guarantee you're going to help somebody. Somebody that's listening to your story, it's going to resonate. Probably many, many out there. And they're going to seek you out at one point or another. And they're going to say, "Hey, so-and-so, tell me about treatment because I'm struggling. I'm serious, man. It happened to me." Share your story if you want to, but I encourage you do. So the next one, public perception and hero narrative. Society idolizes first responders as invulnerable heroes. That's true, they do. But this unrealistic image makes it harder to admit they're human too. The pressure to live up to the hero archetype can prevent seeking help. Exactly right. Exactly right. So the flip side of that, public perception and hero narrative. Use public education campaigns to portray first responders as real people. We're real people, folks. I know all the listeners know that, but people, maybe you're not a first responder and you're listening to this program. I hope you are. We're human. We have feelings. We have down days, good days. We're real people, not invincible machines. Have leaders speak out about the realities of stress and the importance of care. It's crucial from the top down. If you have leaders that do lip service, which there's plenty of them out there, and don't care about their people below them, they're horrible leaders, plain and simple. And unfortunately, there's organizations that have those people that are in those leadership roles. But the flip side is there's many organizations where the leadership does care about their troops. Speak out about the importance of care, leadership. We need to take care of each other. People aren't flocking to law enforcement in the first responder field like they used to. So let's go on to the next one. Lack of education and awareness. Some people still believe therapy is only for crazy people, not realizing how common and treatable PTSD, anxiety, and depression are. Insufficient training on mental health during academy or onboarding. So again, this goes back to lack of education, like I mentioned before. So the flip side of that is, and I'm talking about lack of education and awareness, what you can do is make mental health education a reoccurring part of continuing training. not a one-off event. A lot of organizations just a checkbox. Okay, we talked about mental health. Let's bury that. We never have to talk about it again. BS. You have to constantly talk about it. It should be a quarterly thing, probably more than that. You have to constantly check in on your people, constantly go through training, bring speakers into your organization. Hell, I'll come to your organization. Reach out to me. Talk about PTSD, stress, anxiety, suicidal ideation, all that stuff. It is important that people hear it. Well, we don't want to depress people. It's not depressing. Well, it might be, but it's reality, folks. I would rather catch a first responder before he or she falls into the river and we get them downstream and we pull them out. That makes better sense, right? But we're always reactive with everything we do. Let's be more proactive when it comes to officer wellness and mental health. All right, so let's get to the next one. Historical department culture. Culture is a big one. Many agencies have a long-standing old-school mentality, discouraging vulnerability. Oh, we can't do that. Changing this culture takes intentional leadership and policy reform. Again, leadership. There it goes. Now, again, same thing. Flip side of that is historical department culture. Identify and train cultural influencers within your agency, e.g., respected veterans, to champion change. Encourage leadership to openly discuss mental health, demonstrating that vulnerability is accepted. Again, leadership. And nothing irks me more when I was a cop than seeing a retired on duty officer that's bitter, pissed off the world, training our officers. Training the officers. Because what do you think is going to happen to the new officers? They're going to adopt that type of mentality that this guy or girl or woman has about life, the PD. Oh, this place sucks. Always trying to get you. We all have people in our agency. Have the best people, the most optimistic people, the people that want to be there, training the next generation. All right, on to the next one. Cumulative trauma and delay in recognition. Unlike a single traumatic event, chronic exposure to stress can build silently. We know this, or if you don't, now you do. By the time someone recognizes the impact, stigma has already taken root. Now, the flip side, cumulative trauma. If you don't know what that is, that's just a collection of trauma. Cumulative trauma and delay in recognition. This is what you need to do. Conduct routine mental check-ins even when no critical incident has occurred. Again, we got to stop being reactive. Well, an OIS or something horrible like that happens. Okay, now we're on, but we're going to check in. How you doing? But when things are going good, which they hardly ever do, maybe, you haven't had a critical incident or nothing major has happened, whatever major is to you, it doesn't mean you don't keep checking in on your people. Those are the best times to check in with your people because it's somewhat slow. You don't have all hell breaking loose. You should check in with your people. Educate on cumulative trauma and the importance of early intervention. Again, being a cop for many years, what happens is that my cup got full and full and full cumulative trauma until it started overflowing. Checking in early and regularly, we have a chance to pour that cup out. It's going to fill up again, but constant check-ins, pour it out, fill up, pour it out, fill up. Check in with your people. And lastly, need for leadership buy-in. This is one of the most important ones. I hear so much about agency betrayal and command staff. They're not supporting, and that's a valid concern because, like I said, it happens in a lot of agencies, not all agencies. When chief sheriffs or command staff model seeking help, stigma diminishes. Without top-down support, efforts to normalize mental health care struggle. Again, you might have leadership out there, and maybe your organization, I hope it isn't, but good chance it is. Leadership's doing a lot of this. Suck it up. Yeah, we care. And then their actions don't mirror what they're saying. So the flip side of that is we need to train leaders on mental health literacy and the impact of their attitudes. If you're a leader out there, you are setting the tone. You are setting the tone of the organization. And what I mean by leaders is just not chiefs or DCs or lieutenants or captains or sergeants. Everybody in an organization, I think, is a leader, whether formal rank or not. But you know what I mean. When I say leaders, you don't have to be a chief or a deputy chief. Well, I'm just a sergeant. I'm off the hook. No, bullshit. You're on the hook. It is everybody's responsibility to make sure everybody in the organization is doing okay. Hell, better than okay. And if somebody's not doing good, then we need to collectively rally around that officer. What can we do for help? You want to know to help you. You want to know why people are leaving law enforcement and the first responder field in droves? This is one of the main reasons. I hear it all the time, folks. Lack of support from their agency and lack of support for their higher ups. And I'm not trying to bash higher up. Hell, I was a higher up guy. I was a command staff guy. But what I'm saying is that it starts with you. The leadership, the former leadership in the organization. When you have a young officer, they're looking up to you. Don't tell them that you just need to suck it up all the time. Don't show any type of weakness. That's how it was for me. Your time, okay, irrelevant anymore. I'm not talking about your time on the job. I'm talking about the way of thinking and approaches to mental health. The days of sucking it up are gone, or at least they should be gone. It is okay for officers to be vulnerable, to come forth with their problems, because that's how you're, and get treated for them. That's how you're going to retain good talent, folks. That's how you're going to retain those people so they can remain refreshed and energized about going out there. And if they face challenges, they got a command staff or they got a support network within the agency that rallies behind them. So I'm off my soapbox, but I thought it was important for you all, the listeners, that I shared that with you. I mean, the stigma, again, I think it's getting better, but I think we still have a long way to go. A long way to go. So I hope this was informative. I hope everybody's well, doing well. Look, if you know somebody that wants to come on the show, that can provide an impact for the show and kind of mirror what we've been talking about. I really talk about any type of issue related to law enforcement. What I like to center around is mental health and overall health and wellness of officers. So if you're that person or if you know somebody, shoot them my way. Go to cjevolution.com. Send me, excuse me, a DM, reach out to me. I always respond and let me know. I'd be happy to look at it. And I want you to come on board. I want you to be a guest on the show. And if you would give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast and review, we sure would appreciate it. Until next time, my folks, go out there, conquer your day, and above all, be safe. Bye-bye.